Yo, what's up, dudes? Welcome to another edition of the latest edition where I present to you the latest edition of the big issue, yo. The current edition just came out on the 5th of June, and we are celebrating 30 years of the big issue in Australia, yo. This is a really good edition. It's a bumper edition, as you can see from the cover. It is shiny and gold. And yeah, so it's number 700. Oh my gosh, if I can get my numbers right. 763. And it costs, this edition, $30. So it's a bit above the normal $9. But us vendors, we get $18 of that. So, and it is a real bumper issue. Look at this. It's even thicker than your normal edition. If I bring in a normal edition, you can see it is thicker than a normal edition. So, and it is jam-packed. We have 2 featured vendors, 3 recipes, and a whole lot more in this edition. So this is cool. Alrighty, so to start off, both the inside cover, both front and back, feature some of the previous editions, so that's cool. We have our contents page, and I think that's Louis, who I think is still a vendor. Yes, that's Louis, who is still a vendor, and that was in 1999. So let's get on with it. We have our staffing list and a bit about the big issue, and we have a message from our CEO, which is pretty cool. Let's keep going. And we've got here also our editorial letter, and some letters from vendors who have been doing the big issue for a little while. We've got here Rachel from Sydney, David from Perth, and Vernon from Adelaide. So definitely quite a few cities and states represented. Yo, represent, peeps. Alrighty, and then just a little bit of a backstory about the big issue. And here we have the very first photo of big issue vendors outside the Flinders Street station back in 96. And yeah, so that's pretty cool. We've also got some other photos from more recent years as well, which is also cool. And here we have quite a massive spread. 30 years, countless stories, one big issue. So we go through from 96, all the way back from 96 until now. Just covering some highlights from different years. Like obviously we've got starting off with 96. And then we've got 97, 98, and 99. And then we've got here a bit of a price comparison from 96 till today, 2026. And then we jump to the year 2000, 2001, and 2002. I was just reading this earlier. They did an ad for the big issue. I don't remember the ad, but I'm surprised to even see an ad about the big issue, to be honest. I usually only see them on my Facebook feed, but yeah, there you go. You learn something new every day. Now we've got 2003 and 4, 5 and 6, and then from 2007, a bit about 2007, 2008, bit about the street soccer as well. I think that's when that all started, which is cool. Such a great initiative. It brings out people, not just even if you're vendors, but just street. That's cool. And then you've got 2009. I think that's when the school program started, which is cool. 2010 and 11. 2012, which I think is when they started the women's workforce, featuring the lovely Cheryl, who's from Melbourne. Yeah, she's so lovely. I know Cheryl quite well, so yeah, 2012, 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. See, this is great. And Cameron, I can't remember where from Cameron's from. I think he's from Sydney, but I could be wrong. But he gives out flowers on Valentine's Day, which is really nice. Sorry if I'm wrong on that. Sorry, forgive me, I do have a cold at the moment. Then we've got 2019, just a bit before COVID, I would think, or near COVID. And 2020 to 21. And then 2022, that's when I started doing the big issue. And we have also Kamal here, picture of Kamal. He's just recently retired. Our previous lovely editor, Amy, she was so lovely. Yeah, hope she's doing well in her new role, and yeah, it's all going good for her, I hope. And the Barbie one, I remember the Barbie one, 2023. And yeah, 2024 and 5. Yeah, those pets, I really love that. I can remember that. I remember that. I remember going into the editorial office, and seeing that cover before it was released. So that was pretty cool. They had a few different options, but that one was really cool. And then we got a bit from our cartoonist as well, which is cool. Andrew Weldon, love your work, mate. And we've got a few letters to our younger self. We've got here one from Margaret Pomeranz. I know she did the thing with David. I can't think of his last name, but the movie reviews on the ABC. I remember that. And we also have one from Tsehay. Hey, I'm sorry, I've probably been pronouncing that name wrong. I can't read it properly. Hawkins. So yeah, from she's one of the Wiggles. And then we got a massive quiz about the big issue, and just things that have appeared in the edition, and cover pictures, and yeah. And then, so yeah, as I said, we've got 2 featured vendors this edition. We've got the lovely Amanda, who's one of my friends, and she's only been doing the big issue for 6 months, and she's really lovely. She's usually at Exhibition Street, and also at Little Collins and Swanston Street sometimes, in the mornings usually. And then we've got David from Sydney, who's been doing the big issue for 29 years. So it's good to have that comparison of, a newbie and a bit of a veteran. So that's pretty cool. Also, we go over some of the couples that have came out of the big issue. Like, for example, we've got Ray and Deb, again, another lovely bunch of peeps. They're so nice, so friendly. They're a couple of my friends as well. So from Melbourne, yeah, Chantel and Eddie. Also, we've got Trevor and Ellen, and Sarah and Tim. So that's pretty cool, bringing people together. And then, so we've got street sheets, but it's all with a birthday theme, because obviously Big Issue is celebrating their 30th birthday. And again, another page of street sheet submissions, which is really cool. Really cute. Big picture. So we've got here from Marian, who brings some photos from, Marian, I know Marian. She's one of my friends. Sometimes she's usually at the art centre in Melbourne, but she went says here she went to a Buddhist conference, and she was just telling us about her experience there. So that's pretty cool. She's really lovely. If you ever get the chance if you're around the art centre in Melbourne, get on board and buy a copy from Marian. She's really lovely, and she's so smart too. So yeah, very knowledgeable on stuff. So that's really cool. And then we got film and music and small screens and books as well. And then film about Supergirl, Q, bananas, music, big note across street soccer. Cool. Yeah, this is really cool. And then, as I said, we've got 3 recipes this edition. We've got an entree of spinach and ricotta gnocchi. That sounds yum. A Sam Penang laksa for the main, which, yeah, that sounds all right, doesn't it? From Poe. And from one of the vendors, from MBK, it's a sticky date pudding and caramel sauce, which looks lovely. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And we've got some letters to the editor from some of the I've got one here from Costa, and we've got one here from Noni Hazelhurst, plus a whole lot of vendors, and yeah, pretty cool. Now we've got some puzzles, usual puzzles, and then we've got a bit here from Lorraine Clark, who's a regular contributor to the magazine as well. And yeah, a bit of a thing here from Judith Lucy. I was reading this the other day, and I'm like, that's hilarious. But yeah, feel free to pause it and read it. But yeah, that's it. That's the current edition that goes for an entire month until the next one comes out in July. But yeah, but that's it.